Okay, I think we're complete. Can you hear me? Rinig naman ba? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Hindi na marinig yung background noise. Hindi naman masyado. Sige, let's start the discussion for today. Okay, so for today's lecture, we will be talking about the first part of the lecture for solution thermodynamics, which is the introduction to vapor liquid equilibrium. So technically, this subject is should be part of the application of solution thermodynamics. But since I am following a different reference material, so I'm following kasi the 7th edition of I'm following kasi the how would I'm following kasi the 7th edition of Vanes, no? So nauna tong vapor liquid. So basically, ito kasi mas mag-gets natin later on kung bakit ko siya inuna kasi if uunahin ko yung framework of thermodynamics or yung lecture 2 and lecture 3 natin, so mo-overwhelm tayo sa dami na equations na nakikita. So since I will be starting with the vapor liquid, so konting equations ang need natin tandaan na magagamit din naman natin later on kapag ang pinag-usapan na natin ay yung pinaka-framework. Okay. Okay, so now, so what is the vapor liquid equilibrium? So when we talk about the vapor liquid equilibrium, this is the introductory part of your next UOPS after HIMATA, which is the separation processes. So when we have vapor liquid equilibrium, okay, so assuming we have a container here, okay, assuming that I have a container here, this container contains a solution. I have the solution here. I have a solution here. Okay. When I talk about solution, so ibig sabihin, meron tayong liquid phase dito. So, liquid phase, it's the liquid part. So, ano po sir yung... So, how are we going to determine the vapor? So, pag ay nagkakamera ng VLP or ng vapor liquid equilibrium, okay? So, this particular liquid, no, masasabi natin na it is in equilibrium with the vapor if, okay, this is the vapor, okay? The liquid is the blue one, no, and the vapor is the yellow one. Okay. So, masasabi natin that the system is in equilibrium kapag, okay? Kapag yung ating composition, for example, the mole fraction, the composition in the liquid is equivalent, alright, the composition in the gas phase or in the vapor phase. So, yun yung tinatawag nating equilibrium. Or in some other introduction in the doctoral lessons, no, whenever we have this one, okay, so meron tayong hati. So meron tayong liquid particles dito. So let's denote this as X1. And then meron tayong vapor particles dito. So let's do Y1. So nagkakameron tayo ng vapor liquid equilibrium kapag, alright, kapag yung ating liquid phase, the X phase natin, the particles in the X phase is equivalent, no, to the particles of that particular species in the Y phase. So sir, paano itong equivalent? Pag po kasi natin sir equivalent, dapat po ay numerically. For example, X1 is equivalent to Y1. So guys, yung one na sinasabi ko dito is the species. Okay? So dapat po ba ganyan? Not necessarily ganun. No? hindi sinabing pag 0.5 to dapat sa vapor phase na 0.5 din. Hindi po gayon. Hindi po siya gayon. Okay? So it depends on the condition set for the equilibrium to occur, no? Sir, ano po yung mga condition na sineset natin? Number one, halimbawa kapag nag-adjust tayo ng and then, ano po sir yung mga conditions? So may instances na nasasabi natin na in equilibrium ng isang system. Kung halimbawa yung species na to ay meron lang concentration na 0.2, then ito ay 0.7. So we can see that it's still in equilibrium kasi we satisfy the condition according to the equations that we discussed natin. Not necessarily equal yung numerical value para ma-achieve yung equilibrium. Naintindihan? So when we talk about equilibrium, medyo mahina. Kasi nakikipag-compete kasi ako sa akala ko boses ko. Okay. Sige. Okay na. Akala ko yung boses ko. Okay lang na. Okay. So when we talk about equilibrium, okay. When we talk about equilibrium, so it is a static condition in which no changes occur in the macroscopic properties of a system. So, nakalagay dyan, no changes. No changes in the macroscopic properties. When we talk about macroscopic properties, ito yung mga nakikita natin. So, what I mean is, ito yung mga visible in our eyes. Wala na nagbabago sa kanya. So, that is in equilibrium. Sir, ibig sabihin po ba, even if meron po changes sa microscopic or let's say may changes po sa microscope. So pwede pa po siyang sabihin na in equilibrium, yes. No? Kasi ang condition sinasatisfy lang natin is in the macroscopic level. So kasi guys, in reality, at the microscope, at microscopic, at microscopic level, conditions are not static. No? Okay, conditions are not static. So ibig sabihin po, so at the microscopic level, kahit po siya in equilibrium or not in equilibrium, hindi pa din static yung nangyayari. Ibig sabihin, may mga nangyayaring changes pa din at microscopic level. For example, meron akong system. Balik tayo sa system kanina. Meron akong system dito. So at macroscopic level, makita natin wala na nagbabago sa kanya. So masasabi natin equilibrium na siya. So however, inside, sa pinakaloob, yung mga nangyayari dyan sa intermolecular spacing, sa interparticle spacing na meron tayo, may mga nagbabago-bago pa dyan. Sometimes the molecules tends to vibrate, so nagkakameron ng maliliit na paggalaw. Kasi diba, alam naman natin that molecules of liquid and gases tends to move. Diba? Galaw lang sila ng galaw. Diba? They are freely moving, especially in gases natin. So at the microscopic level, nagalaw pa din siya. Pero at the macroscopic level, kapag tinignan natin siya macroscopically, makikita natin na, nag-stay na pala siya, So, ganoon lang po yung sinasabi natin in equilibrium. Okay. This implies a balance of all potentials that may cause change. Okay. Balance of all potentials. So, madidiscuss natin later on kung ano ba yung potentials na sinasabi natin. Okay. Kasi these particular potentials are the one that drives the changes. Yung potential or the so-called chemical potential, siya yung nagdadrive ng chemical changes. Siya yung nagiging driving force para ang isang system ay mawala sa pagka-equilibrium and vice versa. Okay? So, chemical potential, yung pinaka-gumagalaw sa atin. Siya yung mag-dictate kung halimbawa, itong system na to, yung chemical potential niya is ganito. So, makikita natin doon na it is in equilibrium. So just like in your momentum transfer input and mass transfer, ano, mechanical potential na tinatawag natin ay, di ba sa heat transfer tsaka sa momentum transfer, na tinatawag tayong driving force. Dito sa solution thermodynamics, yung driving force na tinatawag natin is the chemical potential. Okay. The temperature, pressure, and phase composition reach its final values which thereafter remain fixed. No? At equilibrium, no, kapag na-reach natin yung equilibrium condition, kapag na-reach na natin yung equilibrium condition, at equilibrium, okay, at a certain temperature, pressure, okay, okay, ma-reach nila yung peak, no? Para siyang ganito. Kung natatandaan natin yung graph natin for normal distribution. Okay? Okay? At equilibrium, ito siya. No? Siya na yung peak. No? Then, instead of that particular condition to slow down, to go down, no? At equilibrium, nanatili siya dyan as long as the factors or the variables na ginamit natin ay as long as the variables and the factors na ginamit natin ay nire-remain din natin as constant. So, sir, ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Balik tayo sa drawing ni sir kanina. Okay. Burahin natin to. Ay, shish. Mali ang pagkakagawa. Ay, mali na naman. Okay. For example, this particular container here, no, ay pinainitan natin. Nag-apply tayo ng heating. Okay, ibig sabihin, nag-apply tayo ng heating, ano po yung nangyayari? Tumataas yung, when we apply heat, no? When we apply heat transfer, tumataas yung temperature natin inside, no? So, and what happens kapag tumaas yung temperature inside? Assuming assuming blue lang muna siya. Assuming liquid phase lang muna siya. Sige, anyway. Ano mangyayari kapag tumaas yung temperature inside to heat? Ano nangyayari, guys? Anyone from O1 and O2? Anong nangyayari? You can raise your hand or type it in the top chat box. Meron akong kaserola. Assume yung kaserola yan. Pressure will increase because yes, okay. Let's say when we apply heating, the temperature will increase. So pressure will increase because tataas ang kinetic energy. The kinetic energy will increase because bakit nataas yung kinetic energy? More collisions. Okay? The particles here, the liquid particles, yeah, tama yun. The liquid particles na meron tayo dito is magbabanggaan, maggagalaw sila ng gagalaw. So yun yung nakikita natin kapag nagpapakulo kayo ng tubig. Diba initially yun ay nasa kaserola, nag-apply kayo ng heating, ano pa siya, di ba? Let's say, plain pa siya, yung tawag, hindi pa siya nagalaw. No? Once it is heated, unti-unti nagkakamera ng bubbles. No? Once na unti-unti nagkakamera ng bubbles, yun na yung nag-start yun yung start ng pagkakameron ng tinatawag nating the vapor phase. No? Yun na yung start ng pagkakameron ng vapor phase. So once na nagkakameron ng bubbles, ibig sabihin the molecules of the water inside the container is moving na. So once the heat is supplied, so halimbawa na-reach natin yung boiling point ng water. So ibig sabihin may heating tayo, then na-reach na nito na 100 degrees. For example, 100 degrees na yan. 100 degrees Celsius na yan. So diba, at 100 degrees Celsius, ano nangyayari sa tubig natin? The boiling is already constant. No? Makikita natin na talagang bulang-bula na siya. No? And when we talk about bulang-bula na siya, okay, ibig sabihin niya na yung maximum temperature na pwede siyang sumulak. That is the maximum temperature na pwede na siyang sumulak. So once we maintain that temperature, hindi natin hinihinaan yung stove, hindi hinihinaan yung apoy, tuloy-tuloy. Diba? Tuloy-tuloy yung movement as long as merong liquid molecules here. Diba? Tuloy-tuloy yung movement. So ito yung sinasabi dito that the temperature pressure, which is final values, okay, which thereafter remains fixed, no? So which thereafter remains fixed. So once uh, I lower the heating, binabaan ko yung heating, di ba? Minsan, di ba, nasulak na, medyo papatayin niyo na. Kapag pinatay niyo itong heat source, no, ano yung nangyayari? Di ba? Pag pinatay niyo yung heat source, kung nakapapansin niyo, unti-unting kumakalma. Unti-unting kumakalma ang ating liquid, tama? Unti-unting kumakalma ang liquid. So doon hindi nagiging fix yung condition natin. Kasi kumakalma na yung liquid natin. Eh sir, yun po ay liquid equilibrium pala. So sir, paano naman po yung vapor? So in layman's term, di ba, kung titignan natin mabuti, kung nagpakulo ka ng tubig. So itong molecules ito, no, tends to escape, diba? Nagiging gaseous yan at 100 degrees Celsius, nagiging vapor yan. So in order for the vapor liquid equilibrium to satisfy that particular definition, ano po yung nangyayari? Kung ano yung nawawala dito, okay, kung ano yung nawawala dito sa liquid phase natin, yun yung nagiging ng ating vapor phase. Okay, diba? In material balance, yun yung pinag-uusapan natin, diba? Kung ano yung umalis dito, yun yung magiging sa ating vapor phase. And that is the vapor liquid equilibrium. Yun yung sinasabi ni sir na kung ano yung nawala dito, ano, okay, yun lang din naman yung napupunuan nitong kabila. Doon lang siya mag-i-stay sa system na ayon. Lalo pa kung halimbawa nakasarado yan. No? Nakasarado yan. So, doon lang siya. So, di ba kung papansin nyo, kapag nagpakulo kayo ng tubig sa isang very close container, so di ba mapapansin ninyo, di ba once na nabulak siya yung takip, pag tinaas nyo yung takip, may moist doon sa ibabaw. May yung medyo basa-basa yung nasa ibabaw. Yun lang din naman yung VLE na tinatawag natin. No, yun yung isang classic or main example ng vapor liquid equilibrium na pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? Na-imagine ba sinasabi ni sir? So yun, di ba? So di ba, and mapapansin nyo din naman na kapag nakapakulo yung tubig, yung parang usok na umaangat doon mula sa tubig, that's the vapor phase of the water. Okay? That's the vapor phase of the water. So, kung ano yung composition nito, nawala dito, yun yung meron doon sa taas. That's the so-called equilibrium. Okay? So, once, again, sinasabi ko nga, no, magiging fixed lang siya or constant if the factors and the parameters na ginamit natin in the process, the pressure, the temperature, no, is constant. So, sir, how about the phase composition? Kung halimbawa tubig lang yan, tubig lang din yan. Tubig lang din yung magiging vapor phase yan. Diba? Pero if in the middle of the process, ang ginawa natin is that nag-add ako halimbawa ng suka. So, halimbawa, after 5 minutes, nagdagdag ako ng suka. So technically, the vapor phase ay magkakameron ng concentration ng suka. No? Kasi nagbago na yung phase, nagbago na yung composition. So the composition of the phases of the vapor and the liquid is merong suka and merong water. So ganun po tayo sa VR. Okay. So another example, no? So ito tingnan natin itong yung baba natin dito. So of the equilibrium. Okay? So for example, meron ako ditong system ng tubig. Okay? So may harang na sa gitna. Let's assume that this yellow one here is a porous membrane or let's say a filter. Diba? So naglagay tayo ng filter dito. So sa left side, meron tayong dye. No, meron tayong let's say meron tayong mga dyes. No, ang sabihin ng dye ay yung pampakulay, diba? So once okay, so mapapansin natin, no, this is an example. This particular picture here, example pa siya na hindi equilibrium na system. No, kasi bakit po sir, no? So in mass transfer kasi masasabi lang natin na equilibrium ng isang bagay kapag both sides na is merong both sides na ay merong consent. concentration. So ano po sir yung nangyayari? Halimbawa, yung pure water natin, initially wala pa siyang dye. Diba? Initially wala pa siyang dye. So once this particular dye molecules pass through the membrane, okay, is passing through, so nagkakakulay na yung water natin kasi the dye molecules is moving. So ibig sabihin, this is a high concentration dye, high concentration, low concentration of dye. So eventually, once the process is undergoing, halimbawa malaki pa yung concentration nito, so magde-diffuse siya na magde-diffuse papunta dun sa lower concentration. That's the mass transfer. That's the mass transfer. That's the mass transfer thing, no? From a higher concentration to a lower concentration. Okay. So now, so once it diffuses, no, to the lower concentration area, no, hindi siya titigil. Hindi siya titigil hanggat hindi niya na-reach yung equilibrium condition wherein parehas na yung concentration at both ends. No? Ibig sabihin, kung ilan yung dye molecules dito sa left, yun din dapat yung dye molecules sa right. No? That's the so-called equilibrium. Sir, paano po pag lumabi? So, tayo nagpunta dito. So, ibig sabihin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, kung bibilangin natin siya, no, para silang 10. Bilangin na lang natin yung dots, no? Para silang 10. Di ba? So once halimbawa po pala sir, kapag po ito ay naging 11, ito ay halimbawa wala to. So ibig sabihin po pala sir, hindi na po siya equilibrium. Yes, hindi na siya equilibrium. So ano po sir ang mangyayari? May magta-travel back na molecule here to maintain the equilibrium of the system. That is the so-called equilibrium. Kailangan equal or kailangan parehas yung, let's say, somewhat concentration at both ends ng dalawa yung system natin. Okay? Nagagets yung equilibrium natin. So, I think ano pa lang naman, di ba? Equilibrium pa lang naman. No?
Pero may form na siya.
Okay. Now, so in chemical engineering thermodynamics, no, chemical engineering thermodynamics dealt with pure substances. Ito yung sinasabi ko nung introduction natin. When we talk about Chettermore, Che4O6, no, ang pinag-uusapan natin is pure substance. No, pure substance. So, di ba, in Chetter mo, pinag-usapan nila ano yung properties ng ammonia, ano yung nakikita sa exam niya ammonia, ano yung properties ng ganito, ano yung properties ng ganan, ng water, ano yung ginagamit kayo ng steam table to determine the properties of water. So, magamit kayo ng steam table to determine the properties of water. So, in solution thermodynamics, hindi na tayo ganun, no? So we are dealing now with the concept, with the idea of such processes na kung saan, no, nagkakameron ng different, ng iba't ibang phases of different composition, no? So meron tayong iba't ibang phases of different composition, no? So yun yung pinag-uusapan sa salt thermo. Kung sa jet thermo, isa-isa lang tayo. Sa salt thermo, meron ang pinag-uusapan natin is the concept or the theory behind processes na merong iba't ibang phases. Merong iba't ibang phases, for example, distillation. So when we talk about distillation, meron siyang liquid tsaka vapor phase. So meron siyang iba't ibang phases na magkakaiba ng composition. Okay? So, and pag meron tayong gano'n, technically, those particular processes are not in equilibrium. So, dahil wala silang equilibrium, okay, hindi sila in equilibrium, okay, we need to bring them into equilibrium by applying different factors, by applying different parameters or control parameters such as pressure and temperature. So when we apply the pressure, the temperature, when we apply the pressure, the temperature, it will directly affect the composition of the okay, when we apply different pressure and temperature, it will directly affect the concentration. So concentration of the the tawag sa ganun, of the species in the solution or in the system. Kapag na-apekto niya yung concentration, so if the concentration is affected, mass transfer is technically occurring. Okay? So once the mass transfer is occurring, okay, nagkakameron, diba? Yung katulad sinabi ko kanina, when we talk about mass transfer, so yung concentration nito nag-diffuse sa kabila, so nagkakameron, nag-iiba na yung composition. Nag-iiba na yung composition, it alters the composition of one of the phases or both of the phases. For example here, kanina, meron tayo ditong dye solution, meron tayong pure water solution. So, ibig sabihin, ang composition nito, ng left side natin is merong dye and merong water. Ang composition nitong right side natin is purely water. So, once it reaches the equilibrium or goes to equilibrium, so ano yung nangyayari sa atin, ang ating phase na to, so this particular section here, or sabi ko na, this particular thing here is dye water solution. So, ang composition niya is water and dye pa din. The concentration of the dye decreases. Diba? As we can see here. Meanwhile, yung right natin, formerly pure water siya. Pero ngayon, nagbago na yung kanyang concentration kasi nagkameron na ng mass transfer effects. Okay? So dahil nagkameron na ng nag-introduce tayo ng iba't ibang parameters na mag-initiate ng changes sa concentration and that alters its composition. Okay? So yun yung tinatawag nating VLE. Yun yung tinatawag nating VLE or inequilibrium. So let's try to put an example here. Okay. So again, let's put here a system. So ganito lang yung drawing ni sir, no? Okay, so this particular system here, okay, so meron tayong molecules, for example, siya ay dalawang compound. Ito yung pagitan natin, this is the phase boundary. Okay, meron tayong composition na ito. Okay, tapos meron tayong other composition, ito. Magkasama sila. Halimbawa, let's say the violet one. The violet one is, let's say, acetone. And then the yellow one is, let's say, ethanol. So kung yung violet ay acetone, yung yellow ay ethanol. So sir, ano po yung ginagawa natin? Halimbawa, gusto natin paghiwalayin yung phases. Gusto natin paghiwalayin yung phases natin. Yung composition natin. Gusto kong ihiwalay si acetone sa ethanol. So in order for me to separate the ethanol and the acetone, so ano po yung ginagawa natin? So we apply somewhat the process of distillation. So in distillation, ang pinaka-importanting factor na dapat natin malaman is the boiling point difference between these two. The boiling point differences between these two. So determine natin ano yung boiling point ng acetone, boiling point ng ethanol. So meron naman siya sa parents. Lahat naman siya sa parents. So nag-culture sa table. Okay. So for acetone, let's say ang boiling point niya ay 58 degrees Celsius. For ethanol, ang kanyang boiling point is around 70 degrees Celsius. Okay. So if I am going to separate these two, so mag-a-apply tayo ng heating. So let's say, in-heat natin na siya at around 50 degrees Celsius. So at around 50 degrees Celsius, so what do we expect? Diba? At around 50 degrees Celsius, we can expect that some of the acetone is already going up. Diba? So ibig sabihin, magkakameron tayo na some, no? I'm not saying all. So some of the particles, so some of the composition of this ethanol, the acetone, no, this at 58 degrees Celsius na boiling point, aangat na siya dito. Diba? Nagsisimula na siyang umangat. Diba ganun din naman yung tubig? Diba yung tubig naman natin, pag binoboil natin, hindi naman technically need ma-reach yung 100 para talagang sumulak siya. So if you are going to measure the temperature using thermometer, so at some point, no, let's say mga around 90, 95, mga around 85, may boiling na nagaganap. No? Once may boiling na nagaganap, there is a vapor formation. So ganun din naman sa acetone. Ganun din naman sa acetone, diba? At 50 degrees Celsius, no, may mga components ng acetone na umaakyat. No? Dahil umaakyat na to, ano po yung nangyayari? Nare-reduce. No? Nare-reduce. Once it is heated, nare-reduce ang concentration ng acetone sa liquid phase. Susundan. Okay, susundan. So therefore, kung nare-reduce yung concentration ng acetone dito at this particular temperature, assuming maintained yung temperature, no, saan siya napupunta? Napupunta siya dito. Nagkakameron dito ng acetone. Okay? Nagkakameron dito ng acetone. Masusundan ko. Nababawasan dito, yung naalis dito, saan pupunta, dito lang din sa ibabaw. Yung nawala dito again, sa ibabaw lang din pupunta. Alright, now, sir, what if ang ginawa naman po natin ay inihit po natin siya at around 70. O halimbawa, around 70. Okay, at around, wait lang, mabago yun, no? Bago yun, no? So, since meron tayong heating na ginagawa, assuming 50 pa lang tayo, so assuming may heating tayo na ginagawa, so we are at 50 degrees Celsius. So, ang magiging tendency nyo, the acetone will go in the vapor phase. Diba? Will go in the vapor phase. Same explanation tayo sa ethanol. Sa ethanol, no? As we all know, the ethanol, no, is boiling at 78. No? Is boiling at 78 degrees Celsius. Okay, the ethanol is boiling at 70 degrees Celsius, pero at 50 degrees, okay? So medyo nagwa-warm na yan, di ba? Nagwa-warm na yung ethanol natin, yung alak na yan. Yung ethanol na yan, nagwa-warm na siya. So once na nag-warm na siya, so may mga paunti-unting molecules ng ethanol na umaakyat na din. No? Unti-unti lang. So maunti lang. So paunti-unti na molecules ng ethanol na umaakyat na dyan. So technically, may nababawasan din. Nare-reduce din yung value dito. Reduce. So dito, nagkakamera na ng gain. Okay? Nagagets? No? May nare-reduce. Nag-gain yung vapor phase natin. Okay? Again, nare-reduce. Then mayroong nag-gain. Okay. So, pero, no, if titingnan natin, so, sige, kayo tatanungin ko. So, kung halimbawa 50 degrees Celsius ito, so, which do you think will have the more composition here? Is it the acetone or the ethanol? Sa vapor phase. Sa vapor phase, ano yung expectation natin? Alin yung mas malaki yung mas madami? The acetone or the ethanol in the vapor? Anyway. Acetone. Hindi, at 50 muna tayo. At 50 degrees Celsius. Acetone pa din. No? Acetone pa din. Kasi mas malapit yung kanyang boiling point doon sa ating temperature na sinet. Okay? Mas malapit kung boiling point at temperature na sinet natin. Mas mayaman to. Mas ethanol rich to. So this particular here is acetone rich region. Again, may traces na ng ethanol, pero acetone rich pa siya. Meanwhile, the bottommost region natin, or the liquid region, is the ethanol rich ethanol rich region. Kasi, mas madaming nawalang acetone. So, mas na-concentrate, mas tumaas. Okay? If this is concentrated, mas tataas yung concentration niya or the mass fraction or the mole fraction here. Mas tataas siya kasi kung halimbawa, if we are determining the percentages. So kung halimbawa, meron tayo dito 50-50. Initially, before the heating, meron tayong 50-50. So once we heat it, ito ay naging, let's say, 80-10 o 80-20. 80 na acetone, 20 na ethanol. Dito naman is naging parang somewhat ganun din. 20 naman in the other side. No? So, ibig sabihin, tumataas na yung concentration ng heavier, let's say heavier component after application of heat. Okay? So, sir, okay, ito na po. Paano po pag halimbawa, itinaas ko naman yung ating heating to 70 or let's say 70 degrees Celsius, no? So, ang mangyayari, the vapor rich region, acetone pa din yung mas mataas. Acetone pa din yung mas mataas na concentration of the vapor rich region. And then, the acetone concentration in the liquid region will be reduced to almost 0%. No? Kasi nga, 58 yung ating
folder nila. Ayun yung tanda mo yan yung nagpag-usapan natin.
58 yung ating boiling point.
Pero hindi ko lang din alam kung naulit nito.
58 yung ating boiling point since 70.
Kaya siya nagpapulit dahil na ako nagtatanong.
Since 70 yung ating temperature, ma-assure na natin that the liquid phase region is composed primarily or mainly of the ethanol. Is there ibig sabihin na vapor natin purely acetone? Hindi. Mataas na yung concentration ng acetone, pero meron pa din siya concentration ng ethanol. Nagegets? Diba? So, ganun yung BLE natin. Nasusundan lang. Ganun yung BLE natin. No? So, again, at 70 degrees Celsius, yung ating liquid phase will be composed of primarily ethanol. Meanwhile, the vapor phase naman, yung vapor phase natin, ang mangyayari sa kanya is that, mayaman siya sa acetone pa din, mataas yung concentration ng acetone, mataas yung amount ng acetone, pero meron pa din siyang ethanol. Kasi again, kung papansin natin, malapit ng 78, so dapat aangat yung value or aangat yung particles ng ating ethanol. Okay? So that's the BLE. May tanong. So, sa third slide pa lang tayo. May tanong so far? Nag-get so far? Oo, makinig kayo mabuti sa mga sinasabi ko. Kasi yung exam ko ay kung ay lumalabas sa bibig. Natatandaan ko naman siya. So, better listen. Okay, kasi later on, after, I think, starting from lecture 2, lahat ng presentation is ganito na lang yung itsura. No? So, lahat yun ay sinusulat ko. Wala na akong ganito. Lecture 1 lang yung may text. Okay. Next. So, we have here the next slide. So, here, both the extent of change and the rate of transfer depends on the departure of the system from equilibrium. So gaya nga na-explain ko kanina, yung dulo o yung hangganan ng changes o ng paggalaw ng isang component natin, and the rate of transfer depends on the departure. So ibig sabihin, once the system departs from its equilibrium condition, So that the pressure, the temperature, the composition is still changing, no? Kung gaano kalaki daw, kung hanggang saan siya gumalaw, hanggang saan natin ginalaw ng system para umalis or pumunta sa equilibrium, yun ang din magiging basihan natin kung ano yung magiging changes ng ating system. So this particular check here, no, will be discussed sa medyo padulong part. Pagpunta na tayo, pag ang ating system ay reactive na. No? So, doon natin siya maintindihan. And if you can still remember the Le Chatelier's principle, can you recall the spell Le Chatelier principle? Tanda ba to? You can still recall the Le Chatelier's principle, okay? So, yung isang system, no, from that particular thing, diba? Ma-reach yung equilibrium condition, okay, by let's say the forward and the backward rates of something is equal. Yun yung sinasabi sa De Chateliers. Kung halimbawa gumalaw yung left side ng ganito, the right side should move then accordingly, diba? Kung halimbawa meron tayong system dito, kung halimbawa yung left side natin nag-move ng 5 inches, okay, so halimbawa lang to, in pieces lang to, so dapat yung right side gagalaw din ng 5 inches para same pa din yung nangyayari. Yun din po yung ginagamit ng Le Chatelier. Okay? So for quantitative treatment, so ito lang sinasabi ito na so for quantitative treatment of mass transfer, the equilibrium, pressure, temperature, and phase compositions must be known. So in salt term, ito lang yung mahalaga dapat laging meron. No, ito lang din yung hinahanap natin. The pressure, the temperature, and the phase. So, or let's say, when we talk about phase composition, so let's say the mole fractions, yung mga ganong cases, no? So, ito po lang yung pinaghahanapin natin. Tatlo lang. The P, and the composition, wherein the phase composition, X or Y. No, itong tatlong variables na ito, yung nakikita sa lahat ng equation na meron tayo. Yung nagagamitin natin. So, VLD is the most common. However, meron din the LLVSE. So, ito naman ay leave na natin to sa separation process. Okay. So, punta tayo dito sa second checklist. Okay. So, sinasabi sa atin na kailangan natin ng pressure, temperature, and composition. So, if you can still recall this diagram sa kanan, no? This diagram sa kanan. So, nakikita natin dyan, no, that we have here the mole fraction, the mole fraction in the liquid and in the vapor phase, no. So, in solutions term, hindi, nakapag-phase diagram na kayo, tama? Vichem? Ayun, nakapag-phase diagram, sabi ni Ms. Villa sa tsaka ni na Chloe. Okay, so sa phase diagram, diba, mapapansin ninyo, lagi merong the x-axis is the mole fraction. Bihira yung hindi, no? So it's always the mole fraction or the mass fraction. Laging ganun po yun sa atin. Hindi dapat siya nawawala. Okay? So, minsan hinahanap siya, pero still the base or the x-axis should always be the mole fraction. And then the y-axis, yun lagi nagbabago. It can be the pressure and the temperature. Okay. So, meron yung tinatawag na measures of composition. So, kanina pa po tayo, sir, nagbabanggit ng composition. Ano ba yung composition na tinatawag natin? So, when we talk about composition, meron tayong tatlong common na ginagamit. So, we have here the mass fraction, mole fraction, and the molar concentration. So, when we talk about mass fraction, let's say, for example, first species I, okay, so ano man sinasabi natin? First species I, okay, assume natin, no, by notion, liquid phase, liquid is always X, vapor is always Y. Ano? So, So, yan again, liquid is always X, vapor is always Y. Hindi siya nagbabago. So, let's talk about mass fraction. Mass fraction, for example, for the mass fraction of the liquid species for species I is equivalent to the mass of that species over the total mass of the solution. So it's just basically the fraction. Gaano siya ano na yung fraction niya sa total. So technically, for mass fraction, for mole fraction, the number of moles over the n total. And for the concentration, molar concentration. So ito lang naman tinatawag natin. Ito naman tinatawag natin the mass fraction or the mole fraction. No, the mole fraction divided by the volume. Alright? That is the molar concentration. Okay. So, ibig sabihin po, when we talk about the fractions, the mole and the mass, sila po pala, sir, ay lagi less than 1? Yes. Always less than 1. No? So, lahat ng fractions natin is always less than 1. Kasi diba, saan ka ba makakakita ng mas mabigat pa yung isa mong individual species sa total? Diba? Para siyang para siyang para siyang bumili ka ng nag-mix ka ng ano ba siya explain ng so lagi siyang less than 1, no? Kasi again, total yung pinagbabasihan natin. Pag sabi ng total, magkasama na kung ilang species man yung meron siya. Ano? So, lagi na dapat siya ay less than 1. No, never siya magiging greater than 1. So, pag nagkameron tayo ng mole fraction or mass fraction na greater than 1, so technically, nagkakameron tayo ng mali siya. Ano? So, now, okay. Sir, paano po pag halimbawa ang pinag-uusapan natin ay isang solution o isang mixture? So, ano po yung nangyayari? So, halimbawa, meron akong solution ng acetone and ethanol. Meron akong solution ng acetone and ethanol. Meron akong solution ng acetone for acetone.
Okay na sa inyo mag 5 to 6?
So, if meron tayong solution ng acetone and ethanol, so, ang isang step na ginagawa dapat natin, okay, we should determine we should determine first the molar mass of that solution. No? To determine the molar mass of that solution, it is just the summation of xi and then the mi. Okay, so ano pong ibig sabihin nito, no? It should be the weighted sum of the wait lang. Nagsala ako ng wait. So, tama. So, in order for us to determine the molar mass of the solution, we should be taking the weighted sum of the mole fraction or the fraction multiplied by its individual molar masses. Okay? Individual molar masses. So, ano pong ibig sabihin? Kung halimbawa, meron tayong acetone at ethanol. So, meron tayo halimbawa ng 0.2, meron tayong 0.5. In order to determine the molar mass of this one, so you need to take the summation. So, we have here 0.2 mole. Halimbawa, molar mass ko ay 37, hindi ko tanda, plus 0.5 let's say 40. I don't know. No? And that's the molar mass of the particular solution. No? So technically, you're just checking mo or you're just getting its parang yan, weighted sum. No, para ma-determine yung molar mass na solution natin. Kasi ito yung naging common mistake kapag meron kayo ng final project. You know? So, especially when you are calculating the heats of the solution. So, yung iba, ini-individual. No? Where in fact, you can just take the weighted molar mass of that particular solution. Wala siyang magiging mas accurate to. No? Kasi you are talking with the solution. So, kung anim yung solution mo, so ibig sabihin, anim yung i-weighted average. Okay. Okay, so meron tayong tinatawag na phase rule. So, tatandaan kung ano yung phase rule natin. Tatandaan yung phase rule. So, nag-phase rule na ba kayo sa Chikal? I think nag-phase rule tayo sa Chikal. So, when we talk about phase rule, saan ba yun? Phase rule, or the so-called Gibbs phase rule. Shit. The Gibbs phase rule, the definition is that it determines the number of independent intensive variables that can be varied without changing the number of phases present in the system. So sinasabi na natin sa Gibbs phase rule natin, number of variables that can be independently wait lang. It differs in the number of variables that characterize the intensive state of the system and the number of inputs. Okay. So in other terms, so Gibbs phase rule natin, okay? So it is a principle that determines the number. Determines the number of independent variable that can be varied. So, lagi ka na lang, that can be okay. So, Gibbs phase rule natin, it determines the number of independent variables na pwede tayong bago-baguhin. When I talk about intensive, these are the pressure, temperature. So, ibig sabihin, intensive variables na dapat independent variables. So, pressure, temperature, concentration, na pwede na bago-baguhin. Na hindi natin nababago yung state or yung equilibrium state ng isang system. Yun yung sinasabi sa Gibbs phase rule. And it is given, it is given by this equation. If you can still remember, so we have F is equivalent to 2 minus P plus C. Okay. So, what in which we're in, yung F natin, sinasabi natin sa F, it is the so F natin is the so-called degrees of freedom. Yung T natin is the phases. And then the C natin is the species. So, is the species. So, now, so ano po sir yung sinisignify na the degrees of freedom? The degrees of freedom signifies the number. Signifies the number of variables, number of variables na pwede mong galawin. Na pwede galawin. Okay, while maintaining equilibrium. So again, the degrees of freedom or the number of variables na pwede mong galawin na maintain mo yung equilibrium. So, anong klaseng variable? Intensive. No? Only intensive variables ang pinag-uusapan natin. So the P is the phases, the number, the C is the species. So this equation here is the Gibbs phase rule. No? So when we are able to when the degrees of freedom is if F saan ba yun? Is equivalent to 2. No? So the system is so called bivariate. The system is so called bivariate. So ibig sabihin, no, dalawang temperature yung pwede natin galawin. Dalawang intensive variable yung pwede natin galawin para ma-maintain pa din yung system natin. For example, for all, meron akong pure water. Meron akong pure water system. Wait. Okay, sige. Ito na lang tayo magsala. For example, okay, sige, ito na lang. Ito na example. Okay. Sige. So, kapag isa, if F is equivalent to 1 univary, lagay ko lang, para example na tayo. So, kapag halimbawa 0, so the 0, the system is non-variant. So, ibig sabihin, dapat the three cases, no, dapat sila ay ginagalaw. Wala kang pwedeng, kapag may kailangan lahat ng parameters, lahat ng intensive variables, kapag 0 yung ating degrees of freedom, dapat lahat sila ay ginagalaw kasi konektado sila sa bawat isa. So, ibig sabihin, yes, Miss Gunday. Ano yun? Okay. So, if F is equivalent to 2 bivariate, ibig sabihin dalawa yung pwede mong galawin, no? Ma-maintain mo na sila. So, kapag F is equivalent to 1, isa lang yung pwede mong galawin. Okay? And then kapag 0, so dapat lahat ginagalaw mo kasi connected sila sa bawat isa. So, ibig sabihin, kapag may ginalaw kang isa, dahil connected siya, automatically gagalaw din dapat yung kabilang part na yun. You can't fix things, no? So, wala kang may fix. Okay. So, now, let's have an example para mas makita natin yung Gibbs phase rule natin. Okay. So, meron ako dito itong system.
Yes.
Meron akong system dito na, let's say, ethanol and water. Ethanol water system. So, ethanol and water. So, meron ako ditong system. Ethanol and water. So, ito yung ating water, ito yung aking ethanol. So, now, when we apply heat, so when we apply heat there, technically, so magkakameron tayo ng water dito, magkakameron tayo ng ethanol dito din. So, now, so in order for us to apply the Gibbs phase rule, so we have here the formula. F is equivalent to 2. Formula ko. 2 minus P plus C. 2 minus P plus Okay. No. So in order for us to determine degrees of freedom, no. So we have here the F. Degrees of freedom is equivalent to 2. Ilang phases yung meron tayo? So we have 2 phases. We have the vapor phase. This one is the vapor phase. Okay. This one is the vapor phase. This one is the liquid phase. So we have here 2 phases. So assuming yung heat natin is around medyo mataas, mga 80 degrees. Assuming lang, no? So meron tayong 2 phases. Okay. So tapos, ilan na yung composition natin? Meron tayong ethanol and water. So we have here 2 then. So therefore, this particular has a degrees of freedom that is equivalent to 2. Okay? So ibig sabihin ng degrees of freedom equivalent to 2. Okay? So need natin ng at least, we need at least, oh my god, at least 2, no? We need at least 2 intensive variables. We need to at least intensive variables. Okay. So in order for us to solve the problem involving this solution, ibig sabihin, kaya natin maggalaw ng dalawang variable in order for us to solve this types of ilang po sinasabi sa Gibbs phase. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pwede din kailangan natin siya ng temperature or pressure, o kailangan natin siya ng temperature and composition, so something like that. Kahit dalawa lang, makakapag-solve tayo ng ganitong klase. Yeah. Okay. So meron tayo isa pang tinatawag na Duhen's theorem. Meron tayong tinatawag na Duhen's theorem. So ano naman po sir yung Duhen's theorem? So technically, if the phase rule, the Gibbs phase rule is applicable for open systems, the Duhen's theorem is for closed systems. Ibig sabihin, alam na naman natin ang definition of closed system, no mass coming in, but there is a, let's say, heat or energy coming out, in and out. That's a closed system. Okay. So, application for closed system and with consideration of external variables. So, similar lang yung concept nito. Similar yung concept nito sa phase rule natin. Ang pinagkaibahan lamang is that, ang pinagkaiba lang ng Duhen's theorem and Gibbs phase rule is the application. The application. For Gibbs phase rule, it's a given system, so that's why the formula is like this. So for Duhen's theorem, dahil ito yung closed system, no? So the formula changes. Okay? The formula changes. Okay, so paano po sir naging changes? For Duhen's theorem, the F is equivalent to 2, right? Plus, okay, C minus 1 plus C. Alright, in Duhen's theorem, nag-a-add lang tayo ng additional consideration na C. Kasi nga, again, we are in a closed system. No, additional consideration lang yung adding. No, it's P, sorry, P. Not C. P. So, nag-a-add lang tayo ng additional consideration. So, when we are going to simplify this one, we have here the F is equivalent to 2 plus C. CP minus P plus P. So, mawawala lang dito. The F is equivalent to 2 plus C. So, this is the equation of when we have the Duhen's theorem. Ito yung gagamitan lang if the system is closed. Okay. So, if the phase rule is dealing with the intensive variables, diba? Here we determine the intensive variables. When we talk about Duhen's theorem, now we are dealing with extensive. extensive variables. So when we have extensive variables na kung halimbawa, if f natin, if the degrees of freedom is equivalent to 1, okay? So, dapat at least 1, okay, ibig sabihin niya, no, at least 1, one of the variables is extensive. So, yun ang sinasabi sa atin, no? At least one of the variables should be extensive. No? So, kung halimbawa naman 0, no? Kung halimbawa f natin is 0, so dapat lahat, no? Dapat lahat extensive. Okay? Dapat lahat extensive. So, yun lang sinasabi natin. So, technically, they have the same concept, no? Different formula lang. So, the phase rule nga lang ay intensive, meanwhile the Green's theorem should be the extensive variable. We are calculating the extensive variables. Okay? Yun lang yung pinagkaiba nila. Pero still, the equation itself, no, magkamukha lang naman. Magkamukha lang naman yung equations na ginagamit natin. Okay. So much for that, no? So now, so we have the phase diagram. Sige. Continue tayo, no? May tanong ba? May tanong so far regarding sa equations natin. So sir, ano po yung application ng phase diagram? It's just a shortcut, no? I mean, long cut, shortcut. Kung meron bang, kung ano ba yung dapat i-compute, no? Ilan ba yung dapat i-compute. Pero later on, hindi naman natin siya gamitin kasi may tuturo naman ako sa inyong way to determine kung paano pa siya paiiksiin na lang. No? So, need ko lang siyang i-open for the concept itself. Later on, hindi naman natin siya kailangan gamitin every calculation. Kasi I don't think naman in your UOPS or in your chapter mo gumamit kayo ng nag-phase diagram, ay tawag doon na kayo ay sa kayo nagamit na mga phase solve na yan. Alam ko naman siya na shortcut na divide. So, ganun pa din yung gagawin na. Shortcut pa din. Guys, wait lang. 10:15 babalik ako. Hello, I'm back. Okay, so now we talk about phase diagram. Okay, so I think naman may mga idea na tayo kung ano yung phase diagram. So, technically in Chem Eng, no, in Chem Eng, dalawa lang naman yung pinag-uusap ating phase diagram. So, we have the PX, Y, and the PX, Y. Ano? So, in some advanced studies, no, meron pang mas advanced, no, meron pang mas advanced na diagrams natin. So, pero here, no, focus muna tayo sa PXY tsaka PXY kasi nga, we are just dealing with the vapor and the liquid phases. No? We are just dealing with these intensive variables. No? So, we have here PXY. So, in PXY diagram, for PXY, no, so pwede na sabihin dyan na the temperature is fixed. Right? For PXY, the temperature is fixed. No? Meaning to say, kapag fixed yung temperature natin, ano, fixed yung temperature natin, so ang mga variables na ginagalaw lang natin is the pressure and the composition. Diba? Kung fixed yung ating temperature, no, the pressure and the composition, yung kailangan natin baguhin. So, ano pa yung mangyayari? So, titignan natin. For example, I have here a pressure. The diagram here. So we have here a diagram. Shit. So we have here 0.1, 0.2.
Hello, good morning everyone.
So we have here 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. So ito ay 0, ito ay 1. Ito ay 0, ito ay 1. Ano? So di ba sinabi ko kanina ay na dapat sa base diagram natin, yung ating base is the XY. Or let's say this one is the mole fraction. And then since we have the PXY diagram, so temperature fixed natin. So alam mo, nagbabago sa atin. Ang nagbabago sa atin is the so-called pressure. So isipin nyo, nasa y-axis natin is the pressure. So halimbawa yung pressure ko dito ay ito, 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 5 bar. Halimbawa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have the power. Okay? So, or the pressure. Pressure expressed in bar. Okay, now. So, may makikita tayo minsan na phase diagram na ganito yung itsura. No? So, ganito yung itsura. Later on, tuturuan ko naman kayo mag-construct ng phase diagram. No? Pero, yeah, in some cases, ganito lang din naman. So, we have here at fixed temperature. So, ganito yung itsura niya. Okay. So, may mga phase diagram, yung mga PXY diagram natin, normally ganito yung itsura for a normal system. So, ganito yung itsura natin siya. So, ano po sir yung i-discuss natin dito? So, we are just here discussing the parts. No, wala pa tayong formulation ng PXY natin. Now, again, ganito normally yung itsura ng PXY natin. No? Normally, lahat pataas yan. Kasi normally, pag increasing yung pressure natin, so nagbabago yung values. Now, so here sa loob natin, once halimbawa ang pressure natin is around 1 bar. Halimbawa, at is equivalent to 1 bar. And mole fraction, let's say xi is equivalent to 0.4. So, pinapadetermine sa atin, ano yung phase niya? So, ganito lang yun. So, hanapin mo kung ano din yung y1 niya or the, So, paano po yung gagawin natin? So, at 0.4 na x and 1 bar, so it is 0.4, magte-trace ka lang. This is your 1 bar. So, this is your system lies pag yung inyong plotting is naglay sa loob nito ito so that is already two-phase region. So ibig sabihin your system exists both in liquid and its vapor phase. No, nag-exist siya at that particular liquid and vapor phase. For example, the 0.1 and 1 bar. So we can determine that the system that at 1 bar and x1 at 0.4, ang system natin ay nag-exist as vapor and as liquid. Okay. So sir, paano po natin ma-determine? Ano pa yung pwede natin ma-determine? No? Pwede natin ma-determine here kung gaano kadami yung vapor phase. How? So this is your 0.4, this is your 1. So to determine the vapor region, you need to draw a tie line going to the right, to the right. So going here, so then going down. So kung ano yung makukuha ng value dito, that will be the y1 natin. So ganun po siya gamitin. So now, sir, ano pong ibig sabihin nito? So once, okay, the value falls here, so ano po yung nangyayari? So when the value falls here, kung hindi siya nangyayari, this particular region here is the vapor phase. And then this particular region here, kapag ito siya bumagsak sa taas nito, this is the liquid phase. No, this is the vapor and this is the liquid. So which is very very understandable naman. No? How? Kasi diba, when you do your project in thermodynamics back then, yung pinupuan ko before, Imam Badet, no? So diba yun laging tinatanong ko, ano yung phase ng unang system? Is it a vapor or a liquid, no? Kasi kina-check ko doon, diba? Kung ano ba yung ginamit yung pressure, ano ba yung ginamit yung temperature, it's because yan ay related sa phase diagram na pinag-aaralan natin. No? So once we, okay, so diba, ano ba, meron akong gas. Pressurize ko yung gas natin. So diba yung gas natin nagiging liquid? For example, LPG. Okay, LPG natin. For example, ay LPG or liquefied petroleum gas. Okay? Liquefied petroleum gas. Diba normally pag LPG, nakalagay yan sa mga tangke ng gas yun. Diba? Technically, dahil gas yan, dapat ito na gaseous phase or vapor phase, let's say. Dapat gas yan kasi LPG na. Pero, nakalagay dyan liquefied. No? Sir, paano po yun? Nasa loob siya ng tangke, paano po siya naging gas? Paano po siya naging liquid? Gas na po siya from the term itself. No? So, it's because that particular tank here is pressurized. Now, these are pressure cylinders. Ibig sabihin, mataas ang pressure. So, dahil mataas yung pressure nito, ano po yung nangyayari? Naliliquify yung gas. That's why, ito po yung phase ito yung pina-follow niyang principle, the PXY diagram. Okay? Malinaw. Once we pressurize the system at constant temperature, pressurize mo yung system at constant temperature, ano po yung nangyayari? Nagiging liquid yung ating system. Okay? Once this particular gas ay in-apply na natin sa pagluluto, no? Pinasingaw, nagbawas ka ng pressure sa loob. Once nagbawas ka ng pressure sa loob, ano nangyayari? Nagiging vapor na siya. Okay, diba? Nagiging gas na siya ulit. Diba? Kapag ginagamit nila yung gas sa pagluluto, hindi naman siya liquid na lumalabas eh. It's already gaseous. Kaya diba sabi nila, kapag yung tangke ng suling or sa tangke ng gasol ay naiiwan ng bukas, diba sabi, oh, sumisingaw na yung gas. Sumisingaw siya kasi nga, nababawasan yung pressure sa tangke. Nababawasan yung pressure dito. The pressure is going low. So therefore, nagiging vapor na siya. Okay? That's the concept, the main concept of PXY diet. Naiintindihan? Okay? Nagagats yung concept ng nangyayari. Wala pa tayo sa computation, yung concept pa lang. Okay, now. Again, that's the PXY. So now, yan ako, kulang ang space. Wait lang, maghahanap ako ng magka-copy-paste lang ako ng slide. Copy ko lang itong slide.
Ako ay expecting na
Jorge, ano po po?
ayun po sa SEL ma'am.
So let's try here. No? Let's try to give naman the PXY PXY. Kapag PXY naman yung diagram natin, so ating pinifix ito is the pressure. Pressure is fixed. Pressure natin ay fixed. So ibig sabihin, the y-axis is already the temperature. This is the temperature. This is again still the mole fraction. This is the temperature and the mole fraction. So ang PXY natin is pababa. Pataas. So, ang PXY diagram natin normally is pababa. So, ibig sabihin, nagsisimula siya dito. Normally, pababa siyang ganan. Okay? Normally, ganan yung itsura natin. So, ganan yung itsura natin. Normally lang natin. Pag PXY yung diagram natin, yung nasa baba is already liquid. And then yung nasa taas naman natin ang vapor. So, ito yung difference natin ng PXY and ng PXY diagram. Again for PXY, pataas yung graph natin. The lower portion, this region here is the vapor region and the above region is the liquid region. So, meanwhile, kapag PXY yung diagram, baliktad naman. The lower region naman is the liquid and the vapor region naman is the vapor. So that's the difference between the two. So
Hindi ko lang sure kung ito ba ay
now.
okay pa ba?
So dalawa sila, no? So ganun pa yung calculation, ganun pa din. No? For example, balik tayo dito. X1, asan yun? X1 is equivalent to 0.4, temperature at 333 Kelvin. So, matidetermine natin pa din yung Y1. So, by ganun pa din. 0.1, 0.4. So, halimbawa, ito yung 333. So, this is your region here, no? And then, ganun pa din, trace natin tayo pa kanan to determine the value. So, going down. So, yun yung composition natin. So, same case lang naman sila. So, example natin. So, if you have a pure liquid, example tayo, no? If you have a pure liquid, diba? You have a pure liquid. Initially, you have a pure liquid. Okay. So, kapag meron tayong pure liquid, tapos pinainitan natin siya, nag-apply ako ng heat, no? So, therefore, kapag nag-apply tayo ng heat, tataas yung temperature natin. No, diba? Tataas yung temperature sa loob ng system natin. Now, kapag kapag nagkameron tayo na heating, tumaas ang temperature natin. So nagkakameron na tayo ng formation ng bubble. So once the temperature reaches here, for example, ito yung temperature natin. So dito nag-fall in yung ating plotting. So ano mangyayari po dyan? Nagkakameron dyan sa two-phase region natin na yan. Ibig sabihin dyan, so meron tayo yung mixture ng liquid and ng vapor. So same case lang naman siya ng PXY na dinidiscuss natin kanina. So same case lang din sila. Pag sa loob pumatak, ibig sabihin meron. Sir, ano po ba yung mga curves natin? Ayan. Okay. Sir, ano po ba yung mga curves natin? Ayan. Kasi sir, kanina pa tayo nagka-curves na nagka-curves. Okay. So now, so this lower curve here, ito. Kita nyo ba? Yung lower curve natin. Sige, gagawin ko na lang siyang black. Itong lower curve natin, that is the so-called black curve. It is the bubble point curve. So the red curve natin, is the dew point. Dew point curve. So in the kabila naman, baliktad naman ulit, baliktad naman tayo sa kabila. So yun nasa taas natin, yun nasa baba pala natin, this is the kabila, bubble point, dew point. So this one should be the dew point. This one is the bubble point. So ano po sir ang ibig sabihin ng dew point at ng bubble point? So makinig tayo. Okay. So now, at bubble point. At bubble point curve, at bubble point curve, okay, saan yung bubble point? The black curve, Beyond the bubble point, right? Mula dyan sa bubble point, mula sa black na yan, from the black going down, lahat ng may shade na yan, it exhibits all liquid. Ibig sabihin, the system is all liquid. Lahat daw na nasa system, all liquid. And then once na nagpunta siya dyan sa black, nagkakameron tinatawag na first bubble formation, So medyo sumusulak-sulak na siya. That's the bubble point curve or bubble point, So again, lahat ng under ng item na curve, okay, those are pure liquid. Once it reaches that particular point, once na nagland yung plotting natin dyan sa once na nagland yung plotting natin dyan sa black, that is the bubble point ng ating system. Ibig sabihin, nagkameron ng first bubble formation. Now, ano po yung dew point? At dew point naman, At dew point, lahat ng nandito sa above ng red, lahat ng nandyan, ayan. That is all vapor. Yan ay all vapor. So, ibig sabihin, there is a first droplet. So, ibig sabihin, first droplet yung makikita natin. So, ibig sabihin, pumapatak ng tubig. Kung halimbawa, vapor siya, so tinaasak yung temperature at pressure, once there's all vapor, yung parang moist, that is the dew point of your system. Again, vapor siya, nag-condense. Once na nag-condense, yun yung ating tinatawag na dew point. And that is the red line dito. Okay, that is the red line na meron tayo. Sir, paano pag nag-line sa loob? So again, doon na tayo nagkakameron ng doon na tayo nagkakamera ng liquid tsaka ng vapor na nagko-coexist. Pero the vapor coexist at that particular needle point. No? Same case lang din yan dito. No? Same case lang din yan dito sa ating PXY diagram. Nagigets natin? Yes, Miss Villasel.
Sir, paano po pag yung point po ay nandun sa red curve? Paano po makukuha yung white one?
What? Paano pag nasa red curve?
Apo.
Halimbawa, nag-ano tayo, dito siya pumatak. Okay.
Saan po magiging endpoint?
Okay. Pag halimbawa dito siya pumatak, no? So, ang ating naging endpoint, okay, is it's pa-left naman. No? Kasi syempre, hindi tayo pwede magpamaya ng pa-right. Kasi dito, dito kasi technically, may mixture pa din dito. Kasi pasok pa din siya sa loob, di ba? If halimbawa, dito tayo nag-pour, dito. So technically, sir, masasabi po ba natin na purely vapor na siya? Hindi pa. No? Ibig sabihin, may liquid part na yan. Sir, pag po dinala natin siya dito, wala naman po tayo makukuha. No, di ba? So, din mo siya dadalhin sa kabilang side. Doon ka magagawa ng line pa kabila. Pag nasa ilalim yung curve natin, pa kanan. Pag nasa ibabaw, pa kaliwa. So, in PXY, okay, in PXY, kung dito siya maglaland, papunta siya dito. Kung dito siya maglaland, di ba, dito wala. Kasi ang baba niya. Ano, wala siya. Pangit ang drawing ko kasi. Okay? Wala siyang pupunta. So, same case. Yun yung next part ng aking, presentation. Ito siya. I'll copy another slide. So, paano tayo nagdadrawing? Sige. So, for example, I have a PXY dito.
Actually, something that first year.
Wala yan. Hindi pa in-updated. So, wait lang. Okay, so sorry for that. So patapos naman na tayo for today. Okay, so I have a XY diagram here. Okay. For example, this one is 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0.1. So, ito na lang baba ay 0.1 to 0.9. Okay. So, then yung taas natin, let's say we have the temperatures. So, halimbawa po, I have 0.5. For example, mole fraction natin is 0.5. No, hanap. So, paano po tayo nag-ano? Halimbawa, 0.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ito siya. So, once it landed here, kung ito siya, hindi siya bumata. Okay? So, paano natin siya tinetrace? Pakanan, di ba? Sinabi ko kanina. Tinetrace natin siya pakanan to determine its Y composition. So, Y natin halimbawa, let's say Y is 0.9 from this graph. Now, what if, no? What if sa gitna siya pumatak nandito? Halimbawa, nandito siya pumatak. Ano po yung mangyayari? Sir, pag po sa gitna, pakanan or pakaliwa? So, ganito po yung gagawin. Check, pa-plot po natin siya parehas, no? Plinat natin siya dito. Ito siya. So, plinat natin siya dito. Ito siya. So, sir, ano po yung gagamitin natin in order for us to find the y? No? Alin po dyan? The red or the yellow? Sa tingin ninyo lang. Which one are you going to use? The red or the yellow? Alin ang gagamitin sa tingin ninyo? The red. No, the red one yung gagamitin natin. The shorter distance. No, to determine the y, yung shorter distance yung gagamitin natin. Yan, wala na yung red. This one. No? So once pumatak naman dito sa kabila, okay, dito naman, wala tayong choice, di ba? Wala ka nang pupuntahan dito, sa kanan ka na. Okay. This is your composition. Okay? Nagagets yung concept natin. Ito yung ano, no? Again, the shorter distance yung gagamitin.
Hindi ba sabay, sasama ka ba sa NatCon?
Okay? Again, no, shorter distance yung kailangan natin gamitin. Again, this is the same as the PXY diagram. No? Wala naman tayong problema sa PXY diagram. So, yung mga pinakita ni Sir is the idea. So, okay. Same case, no? Ito, this one is the idea. This is an example of a PXY diagram. No? So, this is an idea. The left side is the ideal PXY diagram. Yung pataas. Diba? So, and the other one, no? This one in the left is a non-ideal, no? PXY diagram. Sir, nag-offer po ba yan? Yes, it depends on the system. No? Later on naman, no, itatry natin mag-construct ng PXY tsaka TXY diagram para makita natin na hindi naman always ganito yung itsura. Hindi naman din always laging ganito. No? May mga systems tayo na iba-iba ng itsura. No? Depending sa mga calculation, no? Kasi kinakalculate naman yung mga values natin dyan. No? Sir, ano po sir yung naka-arrow dito sa taas na to? Ito. Ano po yung nakatundok diyan? What na po ibig sabihin ng azeotrope na yun? No? When you talk about azeotrope, no? Yan yung system, no? Yan yung system kung saan, yan yung point kung saan nagko-coexist yung bubble point tsaka dew point natin. No, that is the azeotrope. Ibig sabihin, that particular condition, hindi nyo madidistinguish kung siya ba ay vapor phase or liquid phase. Okay? So again, at azeotrope, hindi siya undistinguishable. Ano or undistinguishable. Kung ano yung vapor at ano yung liquid. Okay? That's the azeotrope. Ibig sabihin na that okay? So, hindi mo madadetermine kung ano yung azeotrope, kung siya ba ay vapor or siya ba ay liquid. Yun yung sinasabi natin sa azeotrope natin. No? So, dyan, once you encounter azeotropic mixture, medyo mahirap yung separation ng bagay-bagay. No? Mahihirapan siyang maghiwalay dito. Kung matitignan nyo mabuti, no, maliit na lang yung area niya for separation. So kung magsiwalay man siya, maliit lang din yung difference. No? Kasi guys, no, when we talk about azeotrope, no, their boiling points, the boiling point of the temperature of the system or of the solutions na meron tayo is somewhat close. No? So, ibig sabihin, normal separation processes hindi na siya applicable, no, when we are in the azeotropic mixture, no. And also, when we encounter azeotropic mixture here, medyo magulo yung solution medyo mahaba kasi we are considering different factors. No, again, indistinguishable yung faces nila at azeotrope na part. So meron pa dito sa azeotropic mixture. Ito. So we have here an azeotropic mixture of ethyl acetate, of ethyl acetate and benzene. I think this is ethyl
Kaso kung talagang hindi pala siya okay doon sa management.
acetate and benzene.
Mga girls,
Alright? At here, no, here ay, dito nag-exist yung azeotropic condition ng ethyl acetate tsaka ng benzene natin. At this particular condition, hindi mo madidistinguish, no, hindi mo madidistinguish kung alin yung vapor na benzene, in this case, ano yung vapor na ethyl acetate. No, hindi mo madidistinguish alin yung liquid na ethyl acetate kasi magkasama sila at that particular part. So once it landed here in between, so there is an LV, the liquid vapor. Landed here, LV lang din naman siya, the liquid vapor mixture. But once it landed here, again, there is the azeotropic condition that has been formed. Nasusundan. So later on, mag-graph tayo once we encounter the formula. My question so far. My question so far? My question so far,
o kaya naman ay
okay. So if wala, no? So I think hanggang doon na lang muna para diretso tayo ng calculation sa Thursday. No? So Thursday nga ba ang sabi ko next meeting natin na magkasabay? Thursday, di ba? Thursday. So Thursday, magsisimula na tayo ng calculations. Alright? Tapusin na natin sa Thursday ang buong lecture na kung kakayanin ko. Okay, may nagets naman. May nagets naman. So for the concept of the VLP, may concept ng VLP na intindihan naman. Okay. So if walang questions, I think see you again on Thursday. 1 to 3? 3 to 5 or 1 to 3? Ang basilan ko sa GC. 1 to 3 or 3 to 5? May mag-join na sa classroom yung iba para doon 3 to 5. Para doon na lang ako mag-a-announce no? Para makarating sa lahat. Okay. So if wala, ang wala na question, so we may all leave. Madamit. Okay, bye guys.